Alright guys, welcome to Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 Rebuild, Restore, Repair, Refurbish, whatever you would like to call it. I'd like to take a minute to ask you to like, subscribe, and share. Please, I'd appreciate it. But before we get into what I've got going here, if you haven't noticed already, I'm going to patch in a clip here of one of my what would you say, arcade heroes, arcade mentor, but for a guy that doesn't need any introduction, because once you hear his voice you all know who he is. And I asked the videos that he sent me if I could put it on my channel, and he graciously said yes. So here they are, guys.
Well, good news, sir. Your UMK3 board is now repaired. The problem was the game wasn't booting because it wasn't seeing a connection on the CMOS battery. The CMOS battery needs to be installed for the system to boot, and it was. However, the connection between positive and negative was not being seen by the CMOS chip. It comes from the battery straight through to U94, and from U94 over here to U62. So U94 from the battery U94, U94 to U62, and then the system should boot. Well, I wasn't seeing the 3 volts from the battery at U62 because it wasn't getting through U94, so I had to replace U94. There's the old one. I had to take a socket and put a new U94 in a socket there. I won't focus on it, but so U94 is in a socket with a new one. And then I was getting voltage to the U62, but it still wasn't booting. So I changed out U62 because it was faulty as well. After that, I got the system to boot. So it booted, and apparently it worked normally, except it had a bad U129 and a bad U118. So these are the original two, 119. So these are the 2 original bad ROMs. So I put a replacement in here. I had a spare of each one in my little bucket of ROMs here. So I was able to replace those. So you had a bad U94, a bad U62, and 2 bad ROMs. After that, let's see if we can plug this in here. There we go. After replacing those 4 components, there you go. So I'll let this boot through here, and you can see that everything's hunky-dory. Well, hold on. I'm going to pause here and send you 2 videos. Okay. I can only do like 2 minutes and 15 seconds through Messenger here, or it won't send the video. So there you have it. And okay, CMOS all right. I got my controller here, so we'll
Excellent.
I can't play with one hand here, so we'll try.
Round 1, fight.
No, I can't. Anyway, so yeah. 2 bad ROMs and 2 faulty components. So all fixed up. Let me know what you think.
Alright guys, hope you enjoyed that. So I got the braces in. Still gonna put some screws in to help anchor it a little bit better, but they're glued and stapled in right now. I have this old Midway bezel. Well, it says Midway. Seems to sit on the ledge the way it should. Still got the ledge for the glass. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove these screws down here in the back and the wheel. Well, I'll lay it over on its side, and I'm going to start belting off the side art. I guess when I see what it is, I'll stop and we'll take a look at it. But I noticed they have some of this blue paint. The little handles that go in here, the little louvers, were basically glued to the cabinet. And I noticed where I've scratched out here, there's some blue. So I don't know what this cabinet's all had done to it. I'm going to roll it on its side, and I'm going to start belt sanding. Well, this isn't a Mortal Kombat 2 cabinet. I don't think the phone's picking it up all that well. But this, my friends, was a Killer Instinct cabinet. You can see the purple INST. So you can see the sword coming down from the skeleton dude. The red up here of his bandana. And this cabinet's been painted blue before too. So, poor guy's gonna live as a UMK3 now. I'm not worried about it. Hope don't upset anyone. Alright guys, I've been working maybe 10 minutes. I don't know, it feels like 10 minutes. Could have been 5. I'm starting to get down through the paint. A couple of small spots here where I got down into the wood. I'm not quite sure how, but I did. So my biggest thing is to try to keep my sander moving and not let it do this. Now, I've been just letting the sander do its work, not pushing on it, not you know, forcing it or anything. I've just been letting it chew at everything. You know, that's 36 grit. That's like gravel on there. So I'm gonna keep knocking this artwork down. You can see the amount of dirt it creates. I mean, I guess it's just part of it. So, alright, I'm gonna get back to it. Okay. So, you can see got it almost all gone. You can see I kind of stayed away from the edges here. So I'm gonna go ahead and load up some 60 grit on my orbital and come off of the wood towards the edge and clean all that up. Being careful to keep my sander as flat as possible. I don't want to tilt it over the edges and round them. That'll just cause me more Bondo work. Alright, fellas. Whoever previously worked on this had a screw here and here. This one was fine because it was beneath the wood. This one was above the wood. So I took the screw out, countersunk it a little deeper, and put it back in. I'm not sure why they did it, but they put it there. Must have thought it needed to be there, so it's back in. For whatever repair they did. Edges aren't too bad. Got some small spots like that. Big one right there. Couple small ones. Corner's gonna need a little bit of patching up along this edge too. Front corner's got some repair work. That's gonna have some repair work. So, for the first time on one of these Mortal Kombat cabinets, or Midway cabinets I should say, because NBA Jam's sort of the same thing. I got a lot of bad damage right here at the bottom, which I'm gonna have to fill, which means I'm gonna have to cut that T-molding slot out. So, I do not know if my small router will fit on this ledge to run T-molding cutter. If not, I'm going to have to cut me a piece of 3/4 inch wood that I can lay in here beside it and on top of that, and use it sort of as a tabletop to drop my cutter down to the right height and come across it and cut a new groove in that. So that'll be interesting. We'll see how it works. I maybe even film it since it's the first time doing it. So if any of you other guys run into a bit of trouble, maybe it'll be a good idea. Alright, so I got a lot of work to do here. I'm not gonna film it. It's just pretty much rinse and repeat. Flip it over on the other side and do the same thing. And then I think after I get the second side stripped, I'll stand the cabinet up, maybe put it on a milk crate so it's up off the ground, and I'll go through and take off all this wrapping so we got bare wood everywhere, and start doing repairs. Alright, I'll be back in a second for you. I know the longer and longer my videos get, the worse and worse my voice becomes unaligned with the video, so I don't know how this works out, but quick peek for you on the second side. I'll be back. What the hell is that? I never even noticed it. Piece of plexiglass screwed to the inside of the door. I held that in place for a few seconds while I adjusted my mask strap. I know better than that, but I did it anyway. So there'll probably be a low spot right there. Well, not probably, there will be. Alright guys, so when I was sanding, some previous repair work. They have some screws going down through this into here. I'm not quite sure why, but they do. This screw here was up and got caught by the sander, so I'm going to recess this hole just a tiny bit more and put it back in so it's below the wood. I want it below the wood. Okay, it's recessed under the surface well. Now I will be putting a laminate on the side of this, but if I wasn't, and I still will fill this with Bondo so it's smooth, but a little bit wider drill bit. When you're putting Bondo in there, it gives a little bit more space to adhere to. Alright. Okay guys, so here's a peek of the side. So, I did sand a little bit of the back. It's got a blue paint on it. I'm not sure if I'm taking it all back down to wood or if I'm just going to smooth it out and primer over that. We'll see how it feels. So I have the wheels out. I need to take this door out and start stripping the front. Anyways guys, before I get into all that, that's going to be in the next part. So I would like to say thanks to Mike and for letting me use your clips. If you ever even watch this, thank you, sir. I really appreciate that. And anybody else who's watching, I appreciate you. I hope you're getting some enjoyment out of this Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 rebuild, restore, repair, refurbish, whatever you'd like to call it. So part 5 will be coming up soon, guys. I'm not even going to try to even say what I'm going to be doing, because hell, my mind might switch by then. Who knows? But anyways, like, subscribe, share, shit like that. Alright, peace.